Alright, good morning, afternoon for, I don't know, some of y'all. My former now college instructor for automotive recommended that I should make a video, a how-to tutorial to do stuff. Which I got to thinking about it and I thought, it's worth a shot. And as you can see, I did go to National Park. Today, project for everybody to watch is I'm going to be working on a recent car I got from a church member. It is a 2006 Chevy Equinox LT. It'll seat 5. Cold air conditioning, but it has one problem. It has a blown head gasket, which means it's losing antifreeze. Very common. These are notorious for having these issues. So today, I'm not going to tackle that because I don't have the stuff. But today I'm going to pull the thermostat because I drove it last night and it ran a little warm. And I realized that after turning the heat on, it blew cold air. Sign that the thermostat has froze, which doesn't surprise me. Those go out very common on any vehicle. And I'm going to be removing that today. So once again, it's the 2006 Chevy Equinox LT. Going to be removing the thermostat. I'm not going to put one back in it because I'm getting ready to put it in the shop to do the head gaskets. So I'm going to leave that out. But we're going to go ahead and pull out today. Because I'm doing this in my front yard, I'm going to catch what antifreeze does fall in that. I'm going to try this out, see how it works. Thermostats aren't that hard to pull on this vehicle, this select vehicle I should say. Let's bring our camera on over here and I'll show it to you real quick. Get me some more cord here. Alrighty. So now that I got me some cord, let me turn this camera around real quick. So, I know this is going to be hard to see. But, let me grab my light. Handy dandy little light. Not too sure which way is going to be the best here. I don't know if you can see it down there or not. Let's see, where am I going to stick it for now? Right here. I know it's hard to see. Once I get this cover off, you'll be able to see better. So, got to pull this, I got to, I don't know what's wrong with my phone. I got to pull this cover off. Now, on this select car, it has a sensor on top, which I got to remove in order to get this cover off. Very simple process, and I'll just unplug momentarily. The sensor right here. There's a little bitty clip right there, a little green clip. Pull it up. You gotta be careful because sometimes those clips will break. And unplug that sensor just like that. No biggie. Now we gotta take the oil cap off right here. So I'm gonna take the oil cap off, and then on this car, it has this little sleeve that goes down into the motor, which isn't hard to rotate, and it comes out. See, right down there. There's the motor. Big part right there. We'll just lay that there for now. Of course, this cover will just come right off, and there's the motor. Now we can kind of see better. Right here, this is going to be a 13 millimeter. I'm going to try to use a socket on the top. The one down here is going to be a little bit harder to get to. See right there? So, it'll be a little bit of a challenge, but let's see if we can't get that off. I do not have a tripod, so bear with me here. We're going to give this and see what happens. Try to set the phone up so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing. Let me see here. That's at a 13. Y'all can see. 13. Wrench. Now this is going to be, let's see where I put my pan. Alright. So now that I got that pan, gotta get down here on the ground. This is part of it, folks. Being a mechanic, there's a lot of negatives, I guess you could say. It requires a lot of getting on the ground if you don't have a lift. That's another story for another day. So I'm going to be down here for a minute, putting this pan in, and I'll come back up. Just remember, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Something like that. Oh. And, before I forget to mention, I'm a DIY person. I do it myself. If you don't feel qualified for doing something like this, please don't try this at home. If you need some help, be glad to help you. My number, most of y'all know it. You can reach out to me on Facebook. I'm on there every day. If these videos work out, I'll do some more. I'm going to get a tripod and all that. So let's get to it, shall we? So, now that I have placed my pan to catch what antifreeze I'm going to catch, I am going to loosen my two 13mm bolts holding the housing for my thermostat on this 2006. It's fairly simple. I'm going to loosen it and I'll show you what I did. So I got one bolt loose. Well, I said I did. No biggie. Yeah, I'm gonna need a 13 box end. Come over here. 13. They call these box ends. You don't want to use this end here much because it only grabs on how many sides? 1, 2, 3. You have this open side. Really easy to round off bolts, so keep that in mind. Always, always, always use your box end. That's just a little guidance that I learned in automotive, because trust me, I've done it. It ain't much fun when you have a stripped bolt. So now I'm going to go to the bottom and I'm going to get that bolt out. Oh, side note, this motor's cold. Don't try this when it's hot because, you'll burn yourself. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom and attempt to loosen this. It's a little tight in my opinion, but in the automotive world, it's a little bit less what I was hoping for. On this select car, on this car here, I know you can't see me very well. On this car here, I do have to hand it to Chevrolet. They did do a good job in designing this. I know y'all probably having a hard time hearing me because of the wind. It's a little windy out here. But I got to hand it to Chevrolet. They were pretty good when they built these little motors. They're pretty stout motors. Of course, it's cool on plug. It's not, they did away with stripped distributors a long time ago. I think this one, yeah, it has two coils on this one. The coil is what provides the spark to your spark plugs to make them spark, It's a process. I'm loosening the bottom bolt nut. It's a little tight. It ain't exactly ideal for getting down in there, so bear with me while I try to get that off. Wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. But I'm going to try a socket and see if I can't do this a little bit faster. And I can't stress to you, yeah, I can't get the socket in there. I can't stress to the people who are going to be watching this of, you know, it may be, I know I'll make it look easy, but just remember, I've taken 2 years of automotive, so I know what I'm doing. So if you don't feel qualified, I can't stress that enough. If you don't feel qualified, please don't tear your car apart like I'm doing. It could void your warranty. Now, I will tell you this. I will tell you this much. Once you break a bolt free, you want to use a socket just because it's a lot better. For this indication, I'm having to use a box-in wrench. Once you get the bolt free, it's easier to spin it with the open end. Half a C is what I call it. And you just, I don't know if I can get my big hands down there or not, but yeah, I can. So what I'm doing is, let me see if I can move my phone so y'all can see a little bit better. I know this is like a trial run for me. I'm having to keep my phone on my charger, so I'm running off my generator down there, so it's a little bit less than ideal. But, you know, it is what it is. I think this will work. Yeah. I'm gonna make it work. Maybe this will be a little bit better. I don't know. Oh, that's a lot better. So maybe you can kind of see me better and hear me better. I'll put you underneath the car with me. So I'm using that box in again, folks. I'm gonna go down here and attempt to unscrew this with my hand. It's still a little tight. Let me grab my 13mm socket and let me grab my smaller wrench. This will be easier to do. A little bit, I guess. Like I said, you know, this is just a trial run. Oh, almost dropped my wrench. That would have been bad. You know, this is just a trial run. I'm just trying this to kind of see how this works. I'm trying to get that one down here on the bottom going. I was hoping it would kind of spin freely. They make a tool. It's I call it a flex tool. It's made out of a bendable material that can withstand torque. I have one somewhere, but you can use it to bend it in tight places and hold on to it, and then use your ratchet to turn it. It makes this job a little bit easier. Unfortunately, I couldn't find that for this job, so, you know, kind of turned in. Of course, I just ate lunch, so I don't like leaning over a car when I'm working on right after I ate, but not that I don't mind it, but this is fairly straightforward. You know, all we're doing is just taking this thermostat out. It ain't hard. It ain't nothing but a thing. That's what I always say. And I look at it this way. You know, I'm saving myself some money by doing it myself. Because dealerships, let's just be honest, dealerships are expensive. The dealership and I'm not saying that it's teachers' fault, but dealerships in general are just expensive. I mean, let's be honest. You know, they're not cheap at all. But I think I've just about got this bolt where I can free spin it a little. It's a little tight. Nobody said this is easy to get to. One thing about working on these little cars, of course, you know it's cold. You know, there's no pressure in this system. But one thing about these little cars is because the motors are in sideways, they're a little bit easier to work on. I don't mind working on my own stuff. Good Lord. I told a friend of mine, asked me, how long does it take you to do that job? Well, if I find all my tools, it shouldn't take more than 30 minutes. But I had to hunt down my tools, and my instructor told me he was going to want to watch me do this. So I hope he finds this, Mr. Fauché. I hope you find this video, because I'd love for you to see this. So just about got the last bolts out. It's been very difficult. Second bolt. Now this is where it gets interesting. This is where, if you're not careful, you'll make a mess. When I pull this off, there's antifreeze in that hose. And what's going to happen is when I release this, it's not under pressure, so it's not going to come flying off or nothing. But there's going to be a little bit of antifreeze flow. And here's my thermostat. Let me see here. Yeah, it's pretty clogged. So this is the part where I may need some pliers, which I got. But let me show you this real quick here. So there it is. This was the thermostat was. Ain't no more. Thermostat's right here. Thermostat housing. There's the other part of it down here. I gotta get this thermostat off. So we're gonna try to get it off. I know this car had it replaced. At some point I should have brought a rag, but I didn't. Oh well, who's judging? So this is where the fun begins. See, it seems to be okay, but you can tell where it's not, it's real, it's got some junk on it, which would indicate to me it's had a problem. Let me go get my pliers real quick, and we'll get this straightened out. They're just right over here. I'll be right back. Okay. Let's try this again, shall we? I promise you, I'm gonna get organized in a second. Alrighty. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. So I need to clean this gasket. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Okay. So as you can see, this one was pretty clogged up. Just looking at it, and it's had some K-sealer ran through it, so that's probably why. It's no biggie. It ain't nothing but a thing. So I'm gonna go get my carb cleaner. I'm gonna clean this gasket off. Give me a paper towel, and I'll be right back. Once again, you know. Jump. So like I said, I got my degreaser right here, paper towels, and I'm just gonna take this gasket over here. And rinse it off. Dry it off. This is just the gasket for your water pump housing. See how clean that came? That sun is very bright. As we can see, that came clean. So now I will attempt. And one thing to note, of course, I gotta hand it to GM, another one of their fine, brilliant ideas, you could say, is see how this is notched out right here? So what you can do is start your bottom bolt down there and then slip this in there. And then line up your top bolt. I gotta say, I'm very proud of GM for thinking about that for on the mechanical side. That really helps us mechanics out because you don't know how tight it is, folks. I mean, we're talking a very small, you know, if you drop that bolt, you'll never find it again. You'll have to go buy another one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start my bottom bolt before I put the housing back together. And I almost thought I lost my gasket. So this is a tight situation, and I don't do much with my left hand, but unfortunately I have to do a little bit with it. I'm gonna get this bolt going pretty good. That'll work. So now I'm gonna take my gasket, and I'm just gonna feel down here and see. Alright, that's gonna stay. Now I'm gonna put my car back together. So now I'm going to take my other bolt, and see folks, I'm already closing it up. I'm going to take my other bolt, I'm going to go ahead and get it started good. Go ahead and get it going. I'm going to go ahead and screw it on in. This is a very easy job. I think this should be one of the fundamentals they teach people to do. I mean, this is, tool, just for a socket, so like a 300 piece, my toolkit I got from Sam's Club, same thing as Costco y'all have up north. Handy dandy little ratchet set, 375 pieces for 20 bucks. I mean, and it's good craftsman. I mean, you couldn't ask for much better. And I like my craftsman tools. And see, I'm already putting this car back together. And now I got my bottom bolt to deal with, and I really wish, of course, it don't get easier as other cars, as newer cars are manufactured. Of course, I'll give you a close-up of this old thermostat in a minute, but to save me a little bit of grief, I went ahead and, because it did run hot yesterday on me, and I wish I could have got my hands down in there, but it's a very, very tight space, unfortunately. So we're getting there as we're closing up this thing. And of course, I'm gonna clean off the exhaust and all that. This is where that open end would come in handy. You just gotta be careful. Just gotta be careful to make sure that you get a good bite on that bolt before you alright, starting to snug up. I'm not gonna kill this thing, but I'm gonna make sure it's pretty snug so it don't leak. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back over here and get my big ratchet. And now I know some of you that are retired mechanics will say you need to torque that. I torqued it with my little oomph. May not be the specs, but it's gonna be tight enough that it's not gonna leak. So 13 millimeter again with my 1/2 inch socket. That's loosening. Might help to put it the right way, Alrighty. Now I'm gonna double check my bottom bolt, make sure that it confirmed that it is tight. And it is tight. Give it a little bit more up. To give you a close up of this thermostat. So see that gunk right there? It's clogged. So imagine what it's like in there. You know what I mean? You can tell that it's got some stuff up in there. But that one is definitely bad. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's bad. Now, you're probably asking, why didn't you put a new thermostat back in it? Well, here's the thing. When they go to do the heads on this vehicle, they're going to have to pull that off anyways to get to the heads. So I'll just make sure he puts in another one. AKA, by the way, if you're trying to fix this phone a little bit better. If you are ever on the road traveling and your car just so happenly decides to overheat and you don't have a head gasket issue, then I would recommend, if you have your toolkit, let the engine cool off, locate your thermostat housing, pull your thermostat out like I did. All you do, wiggle it back and forth, it'll come out and pull. It'll come out. Do this when the engine is cold. Don't do this when they're hot. You'll get burned. Third-degree burns are very possible when messing with coolant. And more importantly, on this car, it's right next to the exhaust. And that might present you with a nice tattoo of the exhaust system on this certain car. This car has 177,778 miles. I looked at the OD. OD is odometer for you younger people that don't know. I haven't took automotive. So now that I have, and I should probably shut up and quit rambling. Show that to you so you can see a little bit better. Cleaner. I'm gonna clean off my exhaust so that I don't have any issues later. And of course we'll let that dry. And I say let it dry. I'm gonna take my paper towel and wipe off the excess as much as I can. Of course, you know, cars are dirty. So go ahead and start putting up my tools. But this job is not hard. Bless you, baby. That's the horses in the background. I'll show them to you right before I end this video. This isn't a hard job. Not that. Anybody can do that one. So, but that's what a thermostat looks like. That's all it is, folks. Just a little bitty, itsy bitsy little thing. You know, it's hard to imagine that little thing right there helps, you know, regulate when the engine gets coolant. So that's thermostat. Do I recommend taking that out unnecessarily? No. Anybody you talk to says you don't want to leave that out long. You know, it will cause the car. It will cause the car to run cooler. A lot cooler. But in my case, it needs to go. I'm prepping this for the shop. Trying to help my guy I'm taking it to out. So, if you ever have a car issue, just let me know. If you're in the Hot Springs area, definitely give me a shout. I don't mind looking at them. I'm not a big Ford fan, but I will look at them. Reason I don't like Fords, and it's not just because it's a Ford, it's just because they're hard to work on. And, you know, Ford makes a totally different creature. You know, it's not the same. I'm going to go ahead and button this one back up by putting my cover back on, making sure that everything lines up the way it should. Just like so. Something like this. Just gotta work with it. Go ahead and plug in your sensor. plug my sensor back in, put my extension for my oil, give it a half a turn, make sure it locks in, reinstall my oil cap, make sure that it's on there good. Now while I'm underneath here, and of course this is always a good idea, and I know I just moved the camera, but if you'll just bear with me here for just a second, I'll fix that camera issue. That'll work. So now what I'm about to do, and of course I'll move over there so you can see me. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and, because I've just got this car, I'm going to go ahead and check my air filter. Being careful not to knock loose any sensors, and just kind of check and see. I may have to on this one. I think this one here has some, yeah. So this one here has, it has a mass airflow sensor. You have to disconnect, and mass airflow, I'll show it to you. And it has a little bitty, kind of like accordion style air duct there for the air. It has an electric module for opening and closing, letting the air fuel mixture in. It has a hose just like any other for engine blow by. Usually when that happens, it will smoke blue. In this car's case, it has no blow by, thank goodness, but it smokes white in the middle of a hot day, which indicates a blown head gasket, which I confirmed with some instruments, and definitely got it taken care of. So going to get that figured out. This is a 3.2, do you believe? It's a six cylinder V6. This is not an inline. It is not an inline. It is a V6. Very good car. I think it will make it very far. Just making sure I keep all the maintenance up on them. Go back with a good thermostat. Make sure that, you know, the heads don't get blown again, because that's $1,000 right there just to fix it. $500 in parts. So definitely not going to be a cheap fix. But once I do that, it will be a very reliable car at that point. So that's my, I guess you could say, what Tyler's doing today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Well, video, Facebook Live, whatever you want to call it. Tell me what you think. Is this something you enjoy, or is it something that you don't want me to do again? Depends on if you like to work on cars like me. That's just something I do. So if you like it, hey, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll keep you up to date on what I do on this car, and some couple other projects I have going on. So if you're interested in kind of seeing what I'm up to as far as mechanical wise, indicate that in the comments below. Let me know what you think. I know some of y'all that are friends with me on Facebook know I do mechanic stuff, but may want to know how I do it, or some tips and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you know, there's so many possibilities with these videos. I will get a tripod to fix this camera issue, so I'm not have to move it all the time. I know that's frustrating, but you know, just a little trial run here to see kind of what y'all think. So let me know. I'm gonna finish buttoning up this car. Make sure I didn't make too big of a mess underneath it, and I will make another video when I get the car back, and we'll see what happens. Here's a little side note for you. I know some of y'all are horse lovers. Let me get my charger out. here's horses. I know y'all like horses. Come here, Annie. Annie's the one right here in the front. That's Murphy, and that's Blondie. This is Murphy right here coming up first. Hey, Murphy! How are you? You're not camera shy, are you? This is Miss Annie. Hey, Annie. She is a retired barrel horse. We think this one's had some barrel done to her before, or him before. That is Blondie. She's just a regular quarter horse. But these are our babies. And of course, you know, my generator's down there. So, I know I've kind of got a little used car lot going on. But, you know how that works. So, definitely give this a shout out. Let me know what you think. I'm going to give a shout out to Mr. Fauché, Mr. Burt Woodall, for the wonderful class I took with them. And really did enjoy that class. Classes, I should say. So, 2 years. So, really happy. I'm glad I took them. Able to work them on stuff. Don't get much better than that. So, I think I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go get ungreased and see how this car does. So, hope you like it. Drop a like. And I'm probably going to make a YouTube channel for this, so y'all just stay tuned and I'll be posting stuff like crazy. Hope everybody's staying safe. I know this COVID deal's really got everybody messed up, but sure ain't slowing me down any. I'm just keeping myself busy with things to do. So, y'all let me know, and I'm going to shut up. Take care, everybody. This is Tyler, the mechanic, signing off. Till next time. See y'all later. That's all, folks.